Are you stuck? How about unhappy? Join Alena Chapman, author, mentor, and life coach for Magical Moments with Alena as she challenges you to get out of the doldrum and start living your life to the fullest. In just 60 minutes, Alena will help you take control of your life and push you to do the things you never thought you'd do. So get ready to take back your power and celebrate life with Magical Moments featuring Alena Chapman.
Welcome to Magical Moments. I'm your host, Alena Chapman. And as you know, folks, the whole thing is about your own ease and betterment in your life. And our magical nugget today is openness. Yes, openness. What is openness? Well, so often when we hear new concepts, new ideas, we put it through that critical mind. We put it through a mind that says, this is what I know, and I don't think this is right. And you go right into the judgment. But what if, when you listen, you consciously open your heart and say, I am just going to accept, and then I'll think about it later. But let me absorb it first. It's a new way. Now, when we do that, we actually hear what is truly being said instead of judging it right away. And when we do that, then we gain the magical nuggets of it. But if we're so quick to go to what we think is right, what we know, then we miss the nuggets that can help us and create better lives and open us up to a better connection with divine. So this week, I would really like, and even in this wonderful show we have today, I would like you to just open your heart and absorb. It's a cool concept. And when you do it, you're going to really like it. Okay? All right. I have a wonderful guest here today. In fact, I have been following this person on YouTube. I am so impressed with him that I wrote him right away and said, I have to have you on the show. His name is Lars Muhl. Now, he is from Denmark, and he started professional writing in 1965 and 66 at the age of 14. I was writing poetry, but not books. As a freelance journalist for the former regional newspaper, I do not want to murder this, so Lars, could you tell the name of the newspaper? Aarhus Amsterdam.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Let's do it by that.
All right. And in 1993, he debuted as an author with his memoirs, Soul in Flames, and has written numerous books since then. In The Soul in Flames, Muhl describes how his childhood was marked by his younger sister's all too early death in 1960. Very sad. And he claims this as the triggering factor in releasing an unusually sensitive and highly developed form of perceptual ability. We know it as ESP, enabling him to feel other people's pain as well as perceived hidden aspects of life. Lars Muhl became an active musician in 1966. Just so you know, Lars, I was also a musician, so that's very interesting.
Fantastic.
When he wrote for it and played in the band Dragon 5 in 1966 and 68, and since then he's been in rock bands called Daisy 1968 to 74 and Warm Guns 1978 to 84. He's just really known, but has also performed and issued recordings as a solo artist and produced for other musicians. He sings, plays keyboards, piano, and guitar, and of which quite a few have been interpreted by other musicians, both in Denmark and abroad. Now, also, Lisa Sorensen has also been doing his songs in 1975 and 1976. He has studied at the Royal Academy of Music. Very cool. Now, in 1995, Lars stopped his musical career in 1999 to devote his time to esoteric studies and writing. Now, he wrote a book called The Seer. Muhl describes how he was struck down by an illness that defied diagnosis and kept him confined to his bed for 3 whole years. And then a close friend, he came into contact with a seer. Now, we're going to be talking, what is a seer? This seer was named Calais de Montesquieu. I hope I did all right with that name, who got him out of his sickbed and afterwards took him under his wing as a kind of sorcerer's apprentice. This apprenticeship lasted from 1998 until 2003. Now, he has written many books. I do want to get him on. He has so much accomplished that his bio is so just rich with information. But I think we can cover that in the interview. And with that, hello, Lars. How are you?
Hello. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It is such a pleasure to have you on.
I'm so honored to be here.
Oh, yes. I really want to start from the very beginning with you. You talk about a seer. You are a seer now. Could you define what is a seer?
Actually, we were all born seers. We are all born with this ability to connect if we somehow did not forget about it or were distracted to do something else. But actually, it is to connect to what is also known as the Book of Life or the Akashic Records or whatever you want to call it. It is a kind of consciousness level where everything is, everything that we humans are giving energy is being recorded there, so to speak. So meaning that when you, for example, everything you say, do, and also think in a way are being recorded there. And some of that stuff are returning to us when we need it. You know, for example, if you start working with something specific, there will be information there, and probably information that you yourself have emitted to it, to this conscious level. Maybe not in this lifetime, but in a former lifetime, you see?
Yes, I do.
So in that way, we are all connected. But of course, this is very, very strange talk for people who have no idea that their lives are so much bigger and so much. I mean, it's endlessly. You know, our lives are forever. As they say in the old mystery schools, we only have one life, but that life is forever. You know, we come and we go, and we come and we go, and every time we have a new role, a new set of dialogue, you know, and we just when we are finished with one play, we just bow, and either it's a Rotten Tomatoes or it's a huge applause. Whenever it is, we go out and we wait a little until we get a new set of dialogue and a new set of costumes and so forth. Maybe we are not being incarnated on this plane, but you know, as Jesus said in the New Testament, my Father's kingdom has many mansions. There are so many other planes of consciousness, other universes, other star systems to go to. And I actually have this feeling now that right now there are so many young people, young souls coming in from other star systems, from other systems. And of course, they are very estranged here. And because they cannot cope with the norms, they are met by diagnosis and medicine and so forth. And actually, they are here to break our norms, to look somewhere else, to live in different manners, than we have done.
Open our minds. Open our
Yes.
minds to me.
So they are here to represent alternatives to what we think is, oh, this is the right way to do things. Or yeah, but sometimes we are just forgetting. And I think we are at a peak now, or at the end of the road, so to speak, of a dead end, that we have to realize that we are disconnected from our most important source, the source that many people call God, and we can talk about that. But a seer is somebody who is able to read the records of any soul in the book of life, or get information somehow. You see, the news is that we are all connected, and most people get informations without being acknowledging and being aware of that, where those information stems from. So they think themselves, oh, I'm really good, I'm a brilliant mind. I get these ideas, but in that way, we more or less are closing down our connection or limiting our connection. It is like when you're standing on the line of water, the line of water, and you're trying to water the garden. It's really, really a bad place to place yourself. So to step down, so to speak, and let it flow freely. This is something that we need to relearn, or I think this is the most simple way of explaining it.
Yes, it's a good way. It's a good way. It's getting out of our thinking so hard. We, the great mind, we think we have to analyze, we have to critique. I have 3 boys, actually. And my youngest, I've watched, and he's 15. And he is someone who, he's on the computer, and he is so, everything is like analytical, tearing down, thinking, and just all analytical. I said, honey, let it go. Just let it go. It's not always tearing down. You've got to start just listening to yourself, and then you find solutions versus tearing down.
Exactly.
And he is trying it, but he loves that computer.
Yeah.
You said in one of your interviews, which I found extremely interesting, that we are not going, we are now moving as a society in almost like a circle. We're not moving forward. We are this corresponds with what we were saying, that we are kind of at the end. We're just moving in a circle. We're not really going anywhere. Could you talk a little bit more about that? I think that would be very good for people to hear.
Yeah, it's not that we are going forward or backwards. It's about how do we evolve from here?
Yes.
How do we get to the next step? And we are in 2020 now, and just look at what the world has become. What are we caught up in right now? And it's so black and white that it's so painful to watch. Because the solution is right there. Not even in front of us, but within us. We have all the answers. But we need to dare to go to the world of answers, and not, if we want answers, don't stay in the world of questions. No?
Yes.
And we are caught up in the world of questions. And we can only find limited solutions to our problems. And that is why nothing is really happening. You can have a leader, next year you have another one, and it's different personalities, but it's the same.
It's the same
thing that's going on,
Yeah.
And that is really, we need to look beyond all this, We need to understand that there is a higher concept. And maybe we should go back and try to redefine what we mean by God. What is God? A lot of people talking about God, but I have found out that three people can sit in the same room and talk about God, and it's three different things they are talking about.
Yes.
So when people comes to me and said, I have friends who said to me, Lars, I don't believe in God. And I said, okay, how do you define God? You must tell me, because or else I don't know what it is you don't believe in. And we cannot discuss this if we don't define it. And most of the time, the friends of mine, they haven't even thought about it, you know.
Wow.
They haven't given it any thought, you know. God is just that old man with the long beard up in the sky.
Living in
So
a
then I ask it, is it the sky over America or is it the sky over Denmark? What sky are we talking about?
Yeah.
So when I started to study the Aramaic language, the language of Jesus, which I started to investigate in the 80s, it was such an eye-opener for me to understand the words of Jesus in the New Testament and also elsewhere, that when he talks about the kingdom of heaven is within us, we should understand that kingdom of heaven, how do you perceive the kingdom of heaven? What does it mean? The kingdom of heaven is within you. Okay, but how do I go about it? Where should I look for it? You know, it's all in the Aramaic concept of this Malkutar Deshem Aya. You know?
Yes.
Malkutar Deshem Aya. It is the most, it's quantum physics. You know, it's beyond quantum physics. It is so, everything is in there, you know.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk because it's big.
Malkutar means kingdom. But in Aramaic, it actually means queendom. It's more feminine. It's more feminine than it is masculine. But it is a combination of both, of course. But you could say that it is first and foremost feminine. It's queendom. Okay? So, Deshem Aya, Shem, means, it's a root word that means light as consciousness, sound, image, name. It is the identity of God within you. When you hear Yeshua said, you should not hide your light underneath a bushel. It is Shem he's talking about. And that light, that consciousness, is the image of God with which we are born in. You know, it's said in the beginning of the Old Testament, you are all born in the image of God. He created us in that image.
Yeah.
So, wow. When he says, when Yeshua came and said, the kingdom of heaven is within you, it's all in there, you know. The image of God is within us. You are all children of God. We need to understand all what has been told about. That means that all the old kind of perception of what this is all about, we need to allow it to let it go in order to understand it in a new way.
Big way.
Yeah. And get
all of a sudden, it's not outside of us. God is not outside of us. The kingdom is not outside of us. We don't need others to tell us how to connect or be the in-between. We have it all within ourselves.
Yeah. So, the next question is, of course, but how do we connect to it? What is it, you know? And it is through this connection that we are given free access to the Book of Life. The Book of Life is discussed in Revelation of John. You can go and read about it there. Your own the sleeping seer of America, Edgar Casey, he was talking about that he got his information from the Book of Life.
That's right.
My teacher was getting his information from the Book of Life. So, in that book, everything is written, you know, and the writers are you and me and everybody else. Every time we have written it all, you know. All your experiences through all your lifetimes, wherever you have been, on whatever plane you come from, or the star system or whatever, it's in there, you know. And the next eye-opener is that the whole Bible, actually, the Old Testament, is a physical manifestation of that book of life. Meaning that if you start to read that book, most people, they will go very, very, very soon after starting reading, they will, this is heavy reading, it's not a page turner, a cliffhanger or anything.
Yeah.
Because we don't understand that it was written by people who had the greatest insight in metaphorical combinations, and construction. There's actually 7 layers of hidden codes within the Bible. And I happen to work with one of the big rabbis in Israel called Adin Steinsaltz, who died, unfortunately, 2 months ago or something. And he was very much into those Bible codes. And he said, this is the book of life. All the names of every soul that have incarnated is written in there. Does that mean that your name, your Christian name now, or my Christian name is there? No. But your real name, your soul name is in there, can be found there, if you know where to look. So it's all so interesting. So another thing I learned from my teacher is, because if there is something in you that you have something against, if you have, what do you call it,
preconceived notions?
Yeah, no. If there's something that you have, your judgmental thoughts, for example.
Yeah, your old beliefs.
You cannot really
accept anything.
Yeah, you won't be able to go and get pure answers about that.
Filter through, right.
If I had something against you, I would not be able to go and read the book of life about you, because my my judgmental nature would stand between me and that information. And that is a kind of protection, you can say. But if I open-heartedly connect it to you, from my kingdom of heaven to your kingdom of heaven, there would be a great chance that I would be able to go and get the information, the true information about who you are. Meaning that it has nothing to do with our everyday life, so to speak, but of our true being, the soul that goes on forever, from what you are now to the next. Right now, you are the essence of everything that you have experienced, And now it is just a question, do you have the guts to allow that to come out? Because you are the result, as I read this in the book of life about you, is that you are a generosity. You are incarnating generosity, and you are the result of God's generosity. So you need to let that generosity flow through you freely, and that's what you're doing when you're doing the work you're doing.
Yes.
So you are on a path that has something to do with generosity, of knowledge that you are allowing to go through, and you are sharing it with the world. Now, this is, in shortness, what could be said right now.
Oh, of course. I agree, and it's so important. I have done a little bit of going back and seeing the lives that I have, many lives. I have gone through the lives, and I have to say, Lars, you are right on about, you have to have an open heart. You have to just accept. And when you do, the lessons that you learn, I do feel I am on that path. I understand why I am. I understand what my soul has done in the lives I've looked at, and what I have come here to evolve for. And it gives you an incredible big meaning to your life, a purpose, a passion. When you do know. But you do have to go and just accept. Again, you have to be open. You cannot put the judgment to it because you'll alter the information you're receiving.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. Now, we do have to take a short break here but I want to get right back on. And for everyone who's listening, I love that you are staying open, that you're listening to this, because this is a little bit different for many of us. But I'll tell you what, how it will change your whole view of your life so easily and give you so much meaning would be, that's what this is for. So come right back. We're talking to Lars Muhl, and I'm Alena Chapman, and you're listening to Magical Moments. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Magical Moments with Alena Chapman, helping you find your inner purpose. Learn more online at soulmanifesto.com.
Welcome back to Magical Moments. I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and we are learning so much about the tree of life, our openness, that the kingdom is inside of us. Just think how that changes so much. Now we'll learn more about how to listen, how to find that inside of us, and many other things. And I think you're going to see more correlation in this and how this corresponds with the Bible. It's not so far, guys. There's so much in that New Testament that gives us so many hints to this. So, welcome back. I'm speaking with Lars Muhl. Let's go ahead and discover some more, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Lars.
Hi.
So we are speaking about, we've given people, we have just sucked it on, and that's good. That's good. Now, what I want to do is I want to kind of step back. I know that Jesus in the New Testament gave us so many things, just as saying, my Father has many mansions. The kingdom is inside. You are the sons and daughters. You will do more than I can here. That's not a direct quote, but you understand what I'm correlating to. And I think I want to explore some of these to help people to begin to look inside. Begin to trust what they see is real. That's what it is. You do realize that. The people don't always believe what they really see inside is real. Yeah. So let's look at the whole thing about Jesus coming to this earth. Number one, Jesus, he studied with the Essenes, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And with the Essenes, they were a special group during that time. They were really getting ready for him. They were the carriers of the light.
Mm-hmm.
Very incredible. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit more of what he was learning there and who was he to them?
The Essenes were about at least 200 years before Jesus, and their only real purpose was to prepare the way for the coming Messiah or the teacher of righteousness. And they had certain signs to go for, that was prophesied, in the book of Isaiah.
Right.
So when the time came and they read the sign, they sent 3 wise men from the east of Bethlehem, only from the Dead Sea, where they were living.
Yes.
And they followed the stars and read the signs, and they found the boy, and he was accepted as being the new Messiah or the teacher of righteousness within their order. And he was taken after that to the temple in Jerusalem, where you can read in the New Testament that were 2 Essenes, Hannah and Simon, old people who were just awaiting to be the ones who could say, yes, this is the boy. And they both did. And after that, he was taken to Egypt, where he was staying for some years, where his parents were also prepared. and that was at a settlement of the Essenes, probably in Heliopolis. And after that, he went back and started his education on Mount Carmel in northern Israel at the School of Prophets, which was also an Essene settlement. And there he got a female teacher called Judith. Judith was also an Essene, but came from a Zarathustrian background. And she was the one who took him on travels to Persia and to Egypt. And he also spent time, of course, at the Dead Sea. But when his final initiation was when he was baptized by John in the River Jordan, which is only a stone throw from the settlement at the Dead Sea. And the very last thing he did before he started his mission, we can read that also, was he spent 40 days in the desert. And spending 40 days in the desert meant that you set yourself into a unprotected state. Because when you go out in the desert, there's no way you can protect yourself. You cannot hide in it. That means that God can find you, you know?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we are thinking, how long are we going to search for God? Don't search for anything, but step out of all your fears and all your judgmental thing and everything. And then maybe when you step out of all this, meaning you're going out into an unprotected state, you're going into the wilderness, and then God can find you. And then you have to face your own wild animals that was facing Jesus, you know.
Those were the devil. Those were the so-called devil.
Your own shadow. Yes. And in the end, the Satan came, and that was the ego, of course.
The ego,
who approached Jesus and said, listen, you can be the king of the world. Why don't you do this and that? And you know the rest of the story. And when he had done that, he started his mission. When he had overthrown the ego within him, his own ego, then he started his mission. And it started with the marriage in Cana, and which was actually his own marriage to Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, they were inseparable. And she was the teacher of the female disciples, and he was of the male disciples. And we have so many witnessing that this was what was really happening, you know.
Right.
But there have been so many reductional things going on in the New Testament that, in order to keep her out of the story, so to speak.
Yes.
But all the time the Vatican have known about these things, and that was why they also accepted a few years ago that she was not a harlot, she was not a prostitute, she was actually a priestess that were initiated, and that was her name said Miriam the Magdalene, Maria Magdal, Mariam the exalted one, you know.
Yes.
And he was Jesus, Jeshua Nazarene, the Nazarene, meaning he was the one who knew, he was the one who was set aside for a higher purpose, you know.
So it was perfect. Perfect union.
And that was actually the whole purpose of this. And even his merging with Mary Magdalene was a shock to many of the Essenes, because they did not want to. They thought they expected something that they have made up in their mind, but their mind could not grasp that now came a person here who said, yeah, but the masculine on its own can do nothing. We need the feminine thing.
You need the feminine.
When they work in equal footings, you know, in equal respect for each other, then you can even read it in the texts. They can move mountains, you know.
Yeah.
That magic of moving mountains. What one cannot do on his own or her own, they can do it together. You know, that's the beauty of it.
Jesus said, if I'm correct, that she was his feminine and he was her masculine.
Exactly.
that's how they fit together. And that's beautiful. But inside ourselves, we have the feminine and masculine.
Of course.
It is uniting it. Can we talk about that? Because a lot of people, I don't know what it's like in Denmark, but I would assume, we have had such a struggle for people to accept who they are. In America, for instance, I grew up in the 60s, so did you. But the 60s, was a big time. Women were stepping out. But in order to do so, women felt they had to become masculine. They brought out their yang, and they were wearing suits and burning the bras and trying to fit into corporate America and being, just being a man. Can't have this, and it's not complete.
No.
And now we're trying to bring in the divine feminine, but how does that, people are saying, but wait a minute, we don't want to go back into the home. And that's how they perceive it, and it's the wrong concept.
Exactly. It has nothing to do with going back into the old roles whatsoever. It's absolutely nothing to do with that. It is, what is the qualities of the feminine? What is the quality of the masculine? And that is what we're going to focus on in order to see how they can complement each other. When they work together, they have everything. If they only work one of them on their own, they have half. And they can achieve a lot of things. But something is missing,
Yes.
So you also have to raise it above ordinary partnership as a marriage. You have to take it even further than that, beyond that, higher up, that you need to let go of all your preconception about what do I need from a woman, or what do I need from a man? How should a man be? How should a woman be? Yeah, but how could you say how I should be, or how could I say what you should be? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yes, judgment.
Totally
it's expectation. Yeah, when you lift, you have to lift past that. Yeah. And when you lift past that, then the gifts come out. And there isn't an expectation, and you're just two souls. Exactly. Instead of a man and a woman, you're two souls that are coming together. It's then you've got a true union.
Yeah.
A true complementary union. It is. And it also skips all the mundaneness, what I call mundaneness.
Exactly.
The stuff we get tired of.
All the things that we have been living after, some norms that have in many ways been so non-creative and so limiting for so many people, You should be a real woman. You should be a real man. You should be a real this and that. But what is a real man? If it's something that it's built from very limiting matrices,
Yeah.
No, let us, that was Jeshua, what he was going around doing, and Mary and the Magdalene. They were setting people free.
Yeah.
Take responsibility for who you are, and have integrity enough to stand forward and show yourself. Share your gifts with the world,
Yes. Yeah.
That's why we are here.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here. I do feel it's important for people to find that union inside themselves too. To be comfortable with both the yang and the yin, and using it both, or the masculine and the feminine. So because you're a multi-dimensional soul. You're not just one way. And becoming okay with all the sides of ourselves is really a humongous step in our own evolution, I think, because it opens up the soul.
Exactly.
Correct. Good. Yeah.
I think a lot of people have been, especially in former generations, they have been trying to live up to be men or women so much that they have only seen or allowed such a little bit of themselves to come alive or to be shared, And very often those people have, much too late, realized that they had so much more to give, and now it was too late. And now I'm afraid that a lot of people right now in the situation we are now, that we are so much giving everything up to technology that
Yeah.
we totally forgotten about our own abilities to, I mean, as the Seer told my teacher, he said, humans are the most refined instruments in the universe. There's no, I mean, if you have some technology device who can measure something, you will actually go and use it. But why not ask yourself, how do you feel it? Huh? In the old times, people, they could just put a finger up in the air and they could say, it's going to rain tomorrow or in 2 days. And there will be some wind is coming. I can feel it, you know. Now we are totally numb. We cannot feel anything, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can feel when they take the power and there's no power for electricity for all our devices. Then we can feel it. Then we wake up and we cry, oh, I don't know anything anymore. And I don't know what to do. What should I do with my life? I cannot Google anything. What should I do? You know? Yeah, that's really, really, really. And I just think about it. If one day the whole internet is going down, nobody knows anything. And nobody knows what to do. They will look at each other estranged and say, who are you? Yeah, I'm your mother. Oh, fantastic. You look very old. Yes, I've been your mother for many, many years, you know, or whatever, you know. I mean, we are in for a big surprise, I think.
Yeah, we are. I think it also helps us. I think the more we rely on the technology and the more we rely on other things outside ourselves, we lose faith in ourselves. We don't even trust that we can feel anymore. We don't feel we can even change anything now. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I look at the younger generation. They don't understand that they do have the power to change whatever it is they want to change, and that they can step forward. They do not, especially in the climate right now. They don't understand that how much to be the change that they want to see. They are too much saying, well, it's out of our control. It's out of our control. And I hear that over and over.
Yeah.
It's quite a mess.
So it's really sad.
It is very sad. I want to bring in, I was reading The God Formula. And folks, this, The God Formula is this, if you can't see it on the radio, it is this just adorable little green book that I love. I can put it in my purse. I mean, I just love this book. But more than that, it is so incredibly revealing. And I want to go back, because you have studied Aramaic. And folks, when he studied Aramaic, it was to go back because Jesus spoke in Aramaic. And the writings were in Aramaic. So he went back to the true translations and did incredible studies. Can we, and I want to talk about the breath, the masculine, the feminine. Because I think if people can, I think that is, and those are the 22 letters, the 23 pathways on the tree of life. But talking, I think that will wake people up, because I am always saying, if God is truly, and you've heard this, folks, over and over, if God is truly omnipresent, that breath you breathe in, that tree you're looking at, it's all spirit. So when I read this, I was like, oh my gosh. So could you explain this correlation that you have found?
You could say that the key to the kingdom of heaven, if the kingdom of heaven is within us, for example, how do we connect to it?
Yes.
There's a key, and the key is the breath, the holy breath, the Holy Spirit. In Aramaic, Ruka de Kutia. Kutia meaning as it was supposed to be, or holy, and Ruha meaning spirit, you know, Holy Spirit. And you should imagine that every time Yeshua was talking about Ruka de Kutia, people, they visualized in front of them that there was a bridge coming from their mouth. Their breath was like a bridge to God. So every time they exhaled, they were exhaling something from God, and they were giving something back when they exhale to God. You know, they inhale from God and they exhale back to God. And when they were leaving this world for the last time, they were going over that bridge for the last time. They were giving up their last, sigh. Yeah. So it's very poetically the way they were when they were talking about these things. So now we can start. You could visualize, for example, that you are inhaling through your heart chakra and exhaling through your heart chakra. Saying, for example, I have a very, very, very simple prayer that I use when I'm everywhere. I can be in the supermarket, I can be in everyday life, and I can practice everywhere I go, and it can change things like this. Yeah. You can say it in English or you can say it in Aramaic. I will say it in English first. Holy Spirit, inhale through the heart. Exhale, kingdom of heaven. Meaning, you are now calling for the Holy Spirit to help you create, to manifest your kingdom of heaven all around you. So you create a sacred space around you. So wherever you go, you are actually inviting people into that space, or without them knowing it, you are carrying some very positive healing abilities with you wherever you go. It's the most amazing things I have discovered or experienced. You can change situation totally out there without anybody knowing what's happened, just by sitting down or concentrating. And you can do it in Aramaic. You can say, Ugarakucha, inhale, and exhale, Malkutade Shamaya. Ugarakucha, Malkutade Shamaya. Or, Holy Spirit, Kingdom of Heaven. Holy Spirit, Kingdom of Heaven. And while you're doing it, be aware of what you're doing, be totally with it. Because this is another very, very important thing I want to share with you now. Yes. Because in Aramaic, there's no word for sin as we know it. It doesn't exist. Mm-mm. It means to miss the target.
The mark, yeah.
The mark. If you miss the mark, and then it goes on from that. What does it mean? Why do you miss the mark? You miss the mark because you are not close enough to the target. You are not there, You are distracted. You are not being here. Right. While you are doing this, you are actually thinking about something totally different. That's why you miss the mark. And missing the mark means that you cannot succeed in anything you do. So if you are not wholly there, that's what sin is all about. It is to be present, for Christ's sake. It is to be here now, not tomorrow or yesterday, but now. Are you here when your children are talking to you? You should actually really wrap them up in your presence and be really receiving. And, when you do that, you are also giving so much healing back to the person. And you can see that person being changed instantly, like right there,
Yes, that's
so
true.
when you start connecting, it is also to connecting to God, to I am who I am. When Moses came to the burning bush and asked, who are you? God said, I am who I am. And now I tell you, you must go and take the Jewish people back to the Holy Land from Egypt. Yeah, but who should I say have told me all this? Go and tell them that I am have sent you. I am. Then we remember what Jesus was talking about in the Gospel of Thomas when he said, cleave the tree and lift the stone, and I am there. I am there. It's not Jesus who I'm there. It's God who is there. I am the truth, or I am the way, the truth, and the light. No, I am is the way, the truth, and the light. That is something that is in the Aramaic. But we think, that Jesus is talking about himself. He's the only one through whom this can happen. No, he's actually telling it the only way you can succeed is to connect to God. I'm just something that show you the way. That's why he in the New Testament said, if you follow my example, you can do even greater wonders than I.
That's right.
Remember, it is written that you are all gods. Oh, he's now referring to the book of Psalms, where it actually stands that God is telling you through the Psalm that we are all gods. So he's saying, I'm not the only child of God. I'm not the only one. You are all children of God, and you can do great wonders, but you need to connect to the I am, and that is the image of God within us that we need to connect to. And I've just shown you how to do it.
Yeah. And for everyone out there, notice, and it is a prayer in its own right, and notice it is not going there with all our needs, our lack, it is an opening. Again, that key word we have started with since the beginning. It is an opening to. I love, Lars. I don't know what it's like in Denmark, but in America, we have this thing when we do meditation where we breathe in, and then when we breathe out everything that doesn't serve us. Mm-hmm. Now that's the tension and everything. But I want to bring a highlight to this, because I love this. You breathe in, and then when you breathe out, you're giving back to God. You breathe in the Spirit of God, and you breathe out, you're giving back. Then all of a sudden, you are in line. Mm. You are giving and receiving.
All the bad stuff, so to speak, is being transformed in the process. When you call for as soon as the Holy Spirit is called for, it's already starting to transform within you. And then when you exhale the kingdom of heaven, you are creating a holy space or sacred space around you. There will be nothing bad coming out of you. You are totally cleansed. You are purified. In the minute that you start to communicate with the Holy Spirit, there's nothing to worry about. That was what Yeshua said. I have to go, or else I could not send you the purifier or the Holy Spirit. I will send this instead of me, because this will be your connection to God from now on and forevermore. Yes? That was what he said.
That's what he said. That's
so
true.
We just need to read all this stuff. The problem with a lot of the Christian churches is that they kind of stop their evolving with Martin Luther. Nothing had really happened since that. And it's all based on shame and guilt and sin, and that you are not good enough.
Really?
That's why you need to be here, and you can give all your money to here, and then you'll go to heaven. Just listen to it. Just listen to it.
It's not right. I know.
To totally opposite everything that Yeshua was talking about. He actually went into the temple and overthrew all the money lenders' tables and said, I have to clean my Father's house.
Yes.
And meaning, we have to clean our Father's house within us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly
we are reborn generosity. We come from generosity, and we came here to share generosity.
If you are looking for more reassurance and things, you can go to soulmanifesto.com. We do have that program out there to reclaim your inner peace, and you get the meditations every day that you can do. That's a wonderful time for you to try different meditations to see what works for you. But sometimes it's just a time for you to get quiet, and listen. So if you're interested, go to Soul Manifesto. That should be still going on. But as always, it's about that ease and betterment and finding more about yourself, that confidence, that feeling good. If you have questions, you can always go to contact on Soul Manifesto and send questions. If there's any questions for Lars directly, I will send them to him. As always, know that Spirit is love. And when we open ourselves to that love, when we open our hearts, then we will find Spirit. Namaste, everyone. Bye-bye.
This has been Magical Moments with Alena, featuring Alena Chapman. If you missed an episode, download it now on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, CastBox, Deezer, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast platform. Learn more online at soulmanifesto.com.
Podcasts by Federated Media.